It does. We just has 2d8.
Or whatever yours is. Is this what you were asking earlier? So you roll 2 of those. 2d8. So 4 and 4. And then you put your constitution in that too, right?
No, let's just look it up and see.
Just to be sure. 4.
That's
3 4s in a row.
That's equal hit points. No, I don't think you had your modifier.
I think it's just the dice.
Alright, so
The self-heal scales with your character level.
So we are taking a short rest.
Yeah.
I have all my.
Yeah, hit dice are equal to your character level. So you guys each have 2, and you can roll a maximum of 2, and you recover. I think at such a low level, you recover both because it's like I think you have to roll to recover them.
Yeah.
But
that's good.
Yeah. No additions there, just the dice. All right.
So when I roll, I get 6 health back.
Should we go?
I think let's take a vote. Who wants to go through the tunnel?
Oi. Tabon, since evidently your god told you to go down this way, how do you feel about it?
I must go either way.
What was that?
He's gonna go either way, regardless.
You're going to go down this tunnel whether I want you to or not?
He literally looks at you, smirks, and walks into the tunnel and disappears.
Suck this shit.
You guys really seriously you do not have to follow him. Like that's his own personal journey.
Did you say duty?
Journey. Just muttering.
We need this guy in the jungle. He'll be a great asset.
He's super awesome. He can do so many things.
I kind of follow him.
Except for kill the
freaking
freaking
I follow
Do
him.
we keep him?
He said that he would follow you and request no payment. He had to go to see the Naga in Nangalore to ask him a question. That was the one that would answer one
and
question.
I have to go to the Naga too, so...
You had to go to him.
Wait, you say
Yes.
Naga? Like
Yeah.
the snake people?
It's the one that you were told to probably go talk to.
Okay.
You were given, so you remember the
I have like
information.
3 different reasons to go there.
I'll remind you, because I know you're new to D&D, and this is something you guys don't know this, and he has not shared it with you. You now know where Omu is, which he told you was, a pretty dark place. You know where Nani Pupu is in Mabala, and you know where the Naga is in Nangalore.
Yep.
The what?
Nangalore is not on the map. I will put pins up there to show you guys where, but they're all basically in that bottom left-hand corner of the map. Omu is somewhere in between the Valley of Honor and the Peaks of Flame, I think. Or is that what it's called? The mountains and the canyon? Yep, somewhere in between there. And Mabala is right at the end of the river, up top. And Nangalore is somewhere in between the two. But you guys don't know that. So he has to share that information with you.
And he says what? Did he verbalize just then something about the Naga or anything?
No, he just walked in.
Well, I'm still going to follow on a hunch.
I'll follow the group, but I don't know if I'm a fan of Tabon.
What do you guys want to do?
I don't think we should follow him.
I think
But I don't want to leave him there either.
I think that we need to A, stick with the strongest dude in our group, B, not be left alone without the strongest person in our group following a mage who obviously without we can't stop, and B, C, D, 4.
Why don't we tie a rope around you and send you through?
I mean, that's fine. I'm going to go with him and shoot it off. I'm lucid, remember? Eldritch Blast. Get that off.
So you're going in?
Yeah.
Alright, you walk into the doorway.
I'll follow the majority of the group. Survival is what I'm looking at. I don't want to follow Tabon, but if everyone's going to leave me in the room by myself, then I'm just going to be like...
Alright, so who's going through the door right now? Through the door. He's gone.
You just disappeared.
Like that.
Don't know where you went.
Oh, and you think
No,
we'll all
you
go
saw
to the
me.
same place?
Who knows? It's a mystery. Oh, also roll for initiative.
Cthulhu.
Just straight up. What's up? I'm a thing that shouldn't be.
See, I went in after Tabon.
Alright.
Well, you went in after me.
Gone.
Alright,
It's just you two.
I'm going. You want to go? Or you want to go back to the door?
Does she go through?
Yep.
This is so stupid. Oh, God. I go through.
It's a little bit risky. Okay, all right. So you all walk through the door, and as each of you do it, it's kind of disorienting because you saw complete darkness ahead of you, and as you step through into a very well lit chamber. That has a different soundscape. That's not it. It's.
I was thinking something along the lines of Michael Myers.
Okay.
That's when Sephiroth comes down with his weed form.
It's pretty close to that, actually. All right, so it's a very peaceful room. There's small bats flittering above, and this large water, like it's almost endless. It just kind of extends in the distance, and there's a small bridge, and you can see Toban's on the bridge right now. He's observing this large fountain, and it's beautiful. It's it has multiple. They're like dinosaur heads, really artfully done. That are just kind of spouting water down, and right at the top is a large Tyrannosaurus Rex head, and it's just kind of looking silently on. No water's coming out of this one. There's another room to the side that has beds that looked strangely well kept, and there's a fire that's going inside of that room as well.
I have a question.
Yes.
We do our short rest here.
So when we're all through this into this,
Yeah.
if anybody comes in to investigate the room, will they be able to see the doorway?
Who knows? Don't know.
So when I come through, I'm disoriented.
It's kind of just a moment of
Kind of
disorientation
stumbles up
because
back.
it's like you went from stepping into total darkness to like bright light and trickling water and just a strange
Good
state.
place for
Do
a
I
honeymoon.
feel like peaceful in this place?
Yes. Which is a strange feeling.
Do I, with the dinosaur head, consider my background with dinosaurs or whatnot? Do I recognize this?
Perception check. Or actually, in this case, religion check.
Oh. Presence that I got.
So 14. Intelligence, so 15.
All right. It's not something you've seen recently. You think back to some of your earliest memories of coming to Chult, and one of the few places your parents took you out in the jungles, and there was a shrine to Ubtao, and inside that shrine there were multiple sculptures that depicted a very similar looking head. The king of the dinosaurs. Ubtao's the father of all dinosaurs.
So we could say I'm kind of mesmerized by this.
You're kind of just at this,
emotional core.
you're looking around and you remember that, and it kind of strikes you for a moment, and you're just kind of lost in your past. Does everybody else do?
I look behind me. Is the portal still behind me?
Solid stone wall.
Solid.
How big is the
Toban! Hey! Toban! Hey! How do we get out of here?
Kind of,
Keep your voices down. It's all
I
right.
don't know.
Do you know where we're at?
I have no idea.
Oh, nice.
How big is the
lost in
pool
that
jungle? The fountains are falling into. How big
It's
is
pretty big. It's about.
I dive in.
Oh, you mean how deep is the water? Because so there's a small bridge leading off of the land to the fountain, and then there's water all around it.
So yeah, I dive into the water.
Okay, so you dive into the water.
Into a cloud of nasty murkiness as it just disperses off of me, and I'm trying to wipe my boogers off.
So you're just trying to clean yourself a little bit. Okay, it's very good for that. It's
Yeah.
you feel
Energized.
kind of clean. Not
We'll
really
see.
clean, but kind of.
Lucid
That's
me,
part of it's a
Can I
magic
throw
curse.
soap at him?
Lucid me is really like trying to get clean, but as soon as I get out of the water, the stuff just dries
Yeah.
back on, and I get scabby again. And
Yep.
I feel bad if anyone.
You feel good for a moment.
Yeah, it just makes me feel better.
Savon kind of looks at you like, he's like motioning for you to get out
Tell
of the
him
water.
to wait. He's
He
giving me my
just
moment.
nods, shakes his head, and looks back.
16. He definitely waits.
Just do one more of those.
I'm scratching my head.
You're just kind of looking around. Like, what the heck?
Yeah, like what? Where do we go? What are we doing? It's awful peaceful.
Where'd you get that cover? Dark Knights 3. What's that?
Comic bid.
How much you paying?
12.
That's a good price. Alright, sorry, got distracted.
Big time. Roll for perception.
And then Campbell, Sheena's pretty cool too. Alright, anyways.
So mesmerized, I'm gonna kind of like
Speaking of,
wander up next to Devon, just kind of mesmerized.
He's looking at the base of the fountain, and you don't know what he's looking for. He's looking at the base of the fountain.
Devon, I don't really like you, but
The same. Just still focused.
this place brings back memories.
of when you weren't a dick.
I know what you mean.
Where have you brought us? Where have you brought us?
And
what are you looking for?
I don't know.
Because the only thing I found is memories that would care not to remember.
What's up?
I'm looking at the fountain now,
Okay.
and
Let's just say you're assisted, so you can roll again as well, because Taban's also looking with you.
oh yeah, 22.
Oh yeah.
Do I see his?
You see, it's kind of well hidden, because like the bottom of the fountain has like this intricate kind of in and out pattern that does, but one of them looks a little bit different than the other. Kind of similar to the sigil that you saw before, but it's almost like an empty space.
So I grab his necklace.
You try and yank it out of his hand.
Taban, let me see. Let me see your symbol.
Be
Let me try
careful.
something.
You did rip it off of your neck.
As you do that,
Do you think that we should have to bond pray to his God to see if it's safe for us to stay?
it's already done. As you do that,
Shifts to something more diplomatic.
it's like, hold on a second, here we go. As you do that,
Dubstep drops.
Okay, here we go.
no, I'm just kidding. You guys are fine.
Roll for initiative.
As you do that, the water stops coming down the fountain, which I can.
Can I roll?
What are you trying to do?
I want to see if the water is magical.
After this.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
And all of it stops, and you hear. Well, I'm just making noise. You hear just cracking of stone, just. And stone begins to kind of flake away from the T-Rex head on top. And it just kind of shakes its head, and it flings off more stone into the water. You're still in the water, right?
Yeah.
Alright, so you can kind of see stone just going around you. Oh, it's just little pieces of stone, like plaster almost.
I'm
And
just standing here looking
it
at you like, what?
Immediately, like, it's almost like it stretches its neck, but it doesn't have a neck, and it kind of comes down closer to you guys. And
I grant 3 wishes.
oh,
Mighty Shenron!
and it looks, and it's like, a paladin of Uktau. How strange. And he looks at you. Do you ever just have disguise on? I would assume you would, because you're walking around.
You better lie through your
He
teeth.
looks at you and he says, I see through your glamour teeth.
I'll take them. You get the necklace back.
I do not share the prejudices of humans.
Oh. And then he puts the necklace back in his pocket.
He turns to you. And just moves away. There's a reason why. Not everybody hates you, okay? Alright, and he looks down, he says, what do you need?
From who?
From him.
No,
To all of us? Or to...
Just to the group in general.
Oh wow.
Am I like, since my fear of dinosaurs, am I like afraid? Like,
A little bit. I mean, you're not, you're still feeling that sense of peace, but definitely you're intimidated by its presence.
You're gonna smart off to this.
Like it's like you'd probably be a little bit more reverent than you would think normally. Plus your memories have stirred, you know, and you're just kind of all off kilter.
What was I going to ask? What can you grant? What can you give us?
Just ask where we are first, dude.
Yeah, where are we?
I mean, what?
Don't get greedy.
No, I mean, what are you asking us? Basically.
Why
I
did you come to
see-
him? Woke him up, basically.
I see in your hearts that you need guidance, each of you, in a different way. And he just kind of gazes at each of you. You are in the shrine of Uptao, located underneath Organza.
Wait, are we underground? I got the idea that we were in some like
You're in a
open
cavern.
sky.
No, it's a cavern.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's dark. Or it would be.
That's all he says right now.
Are we safe in here from the red robes right now?
I mean,
Should we worry about them
why?
coming in?
If they come barging in, I'm getting on top of that dinosaur.
The red robes have begun to corrupt my roots deep in the ground. But for the moment, you are safe.
So can I do that roll in the water?
So help us help
Yeah.
you uncorrupt your roots.
Why are you getting all sexy? So I
That's
don't even have a
an
secret.
Arcana check.
8 plus 1 is 9.
Are you underwater or are you just like dog paddling?
I don't know. I'm kind of doing both, really, submerging, rolling around, but then I stop and then I like
And what'd you roll?
genuinely inspect it.
Arcana.
It's a 9 plus 1.
Nothing that you can sense.
Okay,
Good and clean.
good and clean.
Piece of soap is drifting.
Oh, is the
Yeah,
by
but I was trying to
chance
say my soap is heading your way.
Is there
my
any?
jar? I was gonna ask if it's innately empty. Can it store stuff? I just can't
You've
summon
never
anything.
tried. No.
Okay, well I'm gonna try now.
Okay, you go to scoop water in it, and it just drains out.
Okay, but
Drains out.
it drains out. It's
You scoop, drains out. Scoop, drains out. You're lucid,
Something's
so
up
you
with
don't
this
do it more
water.
than 3 times. What'd you say?
Oh,
And what did you say? You said something.
Help us help you uncorrupt your roots. Because by that,
Is
you
there
know,
anything-
As you say this,
yeah.
he stiffens, and then just
Breathes fire. cone of acid.
opens up his mouth
carried out.
and just roars at each of you in the room, just like, and it's loud. Just, and as he does that, mist just out of his mouth, and it obscures the whole room. And
Sauna.
each of you are suddenly just completely, even when you were next to people, you are, they're gone. It's like you're floating in mist. There's mist below you, mist above you, mist to the sides.
Nice.
Then I just stare at him.
So we'll go.
What have you done now?
We're gonna go. You try, like you knew where he was, and so you walked forward, and you're a ranger. You're pretty good at tracking, and you just keep walking and keep walking and keep walking, and there's no end to the mist.
No, I want to stop.
We'll go in order from my left all the way
It's a
around.
flashback, isn't it? We're seeing something.
You're getting a moment. You're getting a vision.
Back at the hotel.
Can we hear each other? We call out.
What
Call
do you
out.
want?
You just go, hello,
Hello.
and it echoes. Just
Uselessly.
nobody hears anything.
Yeah, roll for initiative.
You don't know that, but you're like, what the hell? So as this happens, a still big to you, but a white and albino dwarf walks up to you, and you're kind of struck into silence here. And he looks at you, and he just kind of clucks his tongue. He's like, "Little one, you have such darkness inside you. I could." Well, he's like, I see the curse that afflicts your flesh and your mind. If you would become my champion, I can grant you what you've been searching for.
You say champion, it kind of makes my skin stand on edge. We've been here before, friend. Who are you?
I am an avatar of Uptao. I represent him on the material plane.
I'm not so sure you would want an ex-champion of something else representing you.
I do not care about your former affiliations. I see your quest in your mind. And you can feel almost like somebody's rifling through your mind. Actually for you it's a familiar sensation.
Yeah.
And you do not like it.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
And he senses that and retreats.
Thank you. Out of my brain. Tell you what, Mr. Avatar, man. You make sure me and my friends don't just fall into a pit of snakes and spikes, and I'll wave your banner. But I can't guarantee whatever I used to represent ain't gonna come knocking.
If you will become my champion, what I ask of you is bring yourself to the heart of Root Tower. Cleanse the darkness that lurks there, and find my last cleric.
You know clerics hate me, right?
I do not care.
Okay, just making sure. Because, you know, if I go to help them and they say, no, leave me to die, and they don't give me the... Okay, we're good. Okay.
What do you say?
I say sure.
As you say sure, he reaches forward and touches your... Oh, wait, no, yours is different. He touches your earlobe. It's kind of weird, but you like it.
Oh, I do.
And as his hand leaves, you can feel a weight in your ear. Can you hand me those green pieces of paper? Thank you. And you get that. Give it to yourself.
By the light of a moon.
All right.
So,
You,
Okay.
World of Warcraft reference.
as the mist overtakes you, you fall to your knees and grab your head because your brain's racked with pain. And suddenly, that memory you had this whole time of your parents' death in the executioner's run,
Oh,
it flickers and disappears.
PTSD's coming
You see
back.
instead, you see Azon and Jabal ahead of you. You see your parents kneeling before them. Azon reaches forward, and they're engulfed in flames, and they scream as they die. He looks towards you, and you're cowering in fear. We can use you. He grasps your head.
Just the albino dwarf.
No, this is Azon.
Okay. Oh,
You don't even see the
okay.
albino dwarf yet.
Alright.
This is just what instantly happens to you.
Okay.
So your lesions and everything close up. And I mean, you read the thing. So okay, yeah, you're
super
good while you're here. And you see what happened. And you've heard of this before. You've heard of Azon doing it before. Your memory was modified.
Is your monkey a dinosaur by chance?
Tell what to learn. It's just a monkey. That's my answer. All right. Your vision kind of clears, and you feel so much differently. All of that devotion to Jabal and Azor is wherever it's at in your head now.
And angst.
Hatred.
Constipation.
The albino dwarf walks towards you. You had many cracks in your mind.
I'm so confused.
I have given you back your true memories.
But are these true, or what I had was true?
You were under a spell. A spell that has changed your life. I thought that perhaps you could walk a different path.
Everyone has a different direction in life. Maybe
If you seek direction, I can provide it.
He handed you a compass.
Can you get revenge on my parents? They were innocent.
I can grant you the power to gain your vengeance, but I ask for your help in return.
And that price is...
Become my champion. Travel to the heart of Ubtao, you've heard of that. Cleanse the darkness that lies within, and free my last cleric.
I'll do everything in my power to do so.
He touches your chest here, and you're kind of filled with peace and bliss. And as he removes his hand, you look down. You can see there's these large black beads that are twined around your neck now.
Wait, since he only gave me one earring, am I allowed that?
And we'll say
That's
this.
important.
And it's so.
What
I think where
earlobes
that
are
actually comes from is that was like a pirate thing to do. So in this case, you do look a little bit rakish. Okay.
Hey, you know we're bound, right? We took the oath.
All right, Jasmine.
Okay.
You are frantically searching through the darkness in the mist. You see an albino dwarf walk towards you. Hello, tiny wanderer. He's like the same height as you. I don't know why I said that.
Well, he's a little bit taller than me. Hello.
I do not see the broken darkness inside of you as your compatriots. Why do you travel with them?
For the adventure to go, I'm just exploring, seeing the world before I go home.
The wanderlust of your kind.
Yes. And I'm looking for pretty rocks and gems.
There are many pretty rocks and gems on my land. If you seek adventure, I have a task that I would like you to complete. If you choose to accept it.
What is the past?
He says the same thing he said. Travel to the heart of Utah, cleanse the darkness within, and free my last craig. I guarantee there has never been an adventure like this before.
Stones.
There will probably be stones and gems. And he kind of chuckles a little bit. I do not find greed to be as bad a thing as my compatriots.
Oh, I see you brought the sacrifice. Gets to Shane.
Look on his stomach there.
I don't know your backstory super well. I'm gonna take a shot in the dark. Alright, so what are you doing while you're in the mist?
That's you?
Yes, that's me.
That's Hellraiser. With a big
Well, my
stick.
backstory was he was kind of left. His village was raided by Dragonborn,
Yeah, more like forced out.
and as an infant, he was left with a blacksmith. So he grew up.
What race?
Huh?
What race of blacksmith?
I don't know. It was in a cold region.
Isn't like Wildmount. Probably human, would be my guess.
Yeah, it was really. And he kind of liked the forge because it was always snow and cold. So grew up. He apprenticed to a blacksmith, and then finally he got tired of doing that and started trying to find his home.
So traveling around.
So he found his old village and learned of the history and stuff. And on his quest, he said, "Well, let's just be an adventurer." And he's traveled through Waterdeep and all these Baldur's Gate.
Experiencing prejudice as you go.
Yes, and been on ships and stuff like that, and picked up a few skills along the way. So
Okay, so small white dwarven figure appears out of the mist. I cannot heal the darkness that inhabits your mind. It is put there by men. I ask for you to help those that are downtrodden. I ask for you to help and gain power in return.
okay, sounds reasonable. So what's kind of quests or what are you?
Breaking necks, cashing checks. Sounds good, man.
That sounds
And
great.
he says the same thing to you. Go to the heart. Do that. Do that.
Sounds great.
You just agree just like that? All right, cool.
Sounds great.
Power.
So this
Yeah,
one,
sure.
he gets a little bit closer to you than you're used to and touches your waist.
Uh-oh.
And sorry, I didn't say. So when he touched your back, a dinosaur hide quiver appeared on your back, a comfortable weight.
Killed my brother for this.
But yours, you look down and there's a shining buckle made of some metal that you would think you'd be familiar with your blacksmith apprenticeship. Not one that you were familiar with. And dinosaur hide around the rest of it.
What are you doing, dwarf?
What are you doing in my swamp?
Alright, and Toban has his own private journey.
So can we stay here and rest until...
You find yourself, as the mist begins to clear, you're all standing in exactly the same place you were before. One thing you notice very quickly, the fountain is completely back to normal, moving. Shane, you notice the hole that you fit the sigil into is gone. And you sense that this is probably the only time this place will work. I'm sorry, what was your question?
Are we... I don't know.
Oh, you feel very well rested, almost as if you just slept. You guys regain all your hit points and spells and stuff.
Okay.
I sucked some of the water into my mouth. Does that fall out too?
No, the water goes into your mouth. Tastes pretty good.
I look at the bond.
So Toban is holding now. His eyes are wrapped, and he's like, I will go to the heart. And his shield now has this glowing, emblazoned maze of a tap symbol on it.
On.
We all got tatted up by an old god.
They like me a lot more than I like you. But together we have work to do.
I agree.
And
And
we're on the same page.
Toban walks to the other side of the room, touches the wall, and it just melts away at his touch.
Not the way we came in.
Different way.
What? What is this guy? Melting walls?
I know, right? It's his sacred shrine. It's the only one that exists, alright?
So he knows, but he knows his way in and out. Instinctually.
We must clean the corruption from the roots of the shrine. If we ever wish to return here again, this has to happen.
This specific shrine,
Do you have any like jars or
what is corrupting it?
There is a dark force underneath. The red robes are a cover. Something dead is down there.
This is something we should organize
A
before we
water
go
skin.
do.
A water skin.
I see you each hold an item that shows you are champions of my deity.
My deity. Let's get it right.
Our deity.
That's
your deities?
He seems much more. He's much more peaceful than I've ever seen before. It's like he found purpose. He, I think we are well equipped to deal with whatever lies down there. And if not, beautiful death.
About that.
So we go through the little porter. Where do we come out?
Is
You
that
guys want to go through?
Is that where he's? Is that what he's going towards? As like we walk and converse, or is he just?
He basically, the wall melted. There's a dark thing there, and he's standing there, and he looks at each of you and he says, "We must do this together, or not at all. I cannot do it alone."
Is this the exit? Where are we going now?
I'll have
We
something-
travel deep into the heart of the shrine.
Oh, so we're going deeper.
I have stuff to do outside of the shrine. So this is our exit. This is our exit.
Yeah, that's a good point. There's no other exits.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. I was like, yeah, there's no real choice here. You gotta go. You can stay here forever. Like, it's pretty nice. Hey, there's food over there.
Where do we nookie?
Sure, let's go.
Yeah, we should probably leave.
Alright, you guys all hold hands and
Skip.
I don't know why. You skip. You,
Son
each of you chooses your own method of silly walking, and
Tobias
you
force
disappear
punches us.
into the